I did a video uh, probably a couple years ago about uh, martial arts uh, sport karate champion Joe Louis, thinking that he was better than Bruce Lee. We all know who Bruce Lee is, the late great martial arts master Bruce Lee. Someone responded to that video, which is an older video again, and they responded to it recently, and they made the statement that Joe Louis, along with other people around that time, had firsthand experience of Bruce Lee, and they knew more about him than I do because I wasn't there. And my information and knowledge of Bruce Lee is very minimal or minuscule according to them. And no, I was not there. But how does any historian uh, completely factually epitomize any industry or any person that has been in any industry or vocation or sport or what have you? And in most instances, they were not there. Most of us are picking up information from other people who were there, even several generations past them today, or just historical books, even on those individuals. So, how much is skewed? How much is completely accurate? We can only guess. So, for the person who made the statement that I was not there and around Bruce Lee when he was coming up, how do I know that all of these things about him being a great martial artist are true? And how some people even tout that Bruce Lee was not a good martial artist or a great martial artist, or he's overrated, and that Joe Louis and those other guys around that time knew better. So how can I make a judgment? I can make a judgment just like you can. I can make an assessment just like anyone else can. But let me throw this at that individual and anyone that's like-minded. Have you ever seen God? You believe that he exists. Has anyone ever seen Jesus Christ? Yes, sure. But you believe that he exists. So there you go. It's a matter of perception. And I think uh, intuition has a lot to do with it as well. And human beings are intelligent creatures. If you apply that intelligence, and we have to be able to discern and medie out information in and say, well, this reasonably did occur. And that's what I've done, not only with Bruce Lee, but any other thing in my life. I've used uh, uh, a certain amount of intelligence that I've been gifted with. Now, if you're not intelligent, or if you're just walking around zombified and you're some kind of dummy, and you cannot make an intelligent decision or have critical judgment, something's wrong with you. So we're all in trouble if we're basing our current knowledge just on what we think. We're basing it on what's been left behind. Records, historical records, and even people who are descendants of those individuals today. We base those decisions currently on. So, no, I didn't have to be there when Bruce Lee was living. But there's a multitude of people who were there who have given him credit for being who he was. And the very fact that Bruce Lee is celebrated on the level that he is during this time, it speaks for itself because the people made the decision and the judgment that Bruce Lee was the greatest martial artist of our time. And there you go. No argument. No argument at all. If you were to Google his name and Google Chuck Norris, Joe Louis, Victor Moore, uh, Mike Stone, Thomas the Puppet, uh, Howard Jackson, uh, all of the other martial arts practitioners during that time, you can see the results that you're going to get. How many are celebrated as Bruce Lee was. Then and even now. Enough said. I really made my point. And I've also come to the conclusion too is that when people don't want to accept the truth when they know that it is the truth, you can't really debate with that individual. You can't have an intelligent conversation with those types of people because they're set in their ways, even though their ways are skewed. This is Brother Teacher. Let me know what you think about this.